Okay, this is a review of the 2015 Jeep Wrangler. This model comes in many varieties. There's a Sport, Sport S, Unlimited Sport S, Sahara, Unlimited Sahara, Rubicon, Unlimited Rubicon. And what unlimited means in all those terms is more equipment. And the different brands have different off-road ruggedness. So, but they all meet a minimum standard of off-road ruggedness. So you could buy the low-end Sport at $21,495 Canadian with no air conditioning, and you will be off-road capable better than anything on the market. This vehicle has no competitors. So that's one thing that makes an advantage. They can just put out what they want and people will buy it as long as they have the Jeep exterior. However, it's more than that. This machine does come with the 3.6 Pentastar V6 engine, which does about 285 horsepower and 260 pounds of torque. It's a good engine. It pulls easy. However, it is not really fuel efficient. I think that's more because of the shape of the vehicle and these tires than anything. The ride is set up for off-road, making it a little bit bouncy on the highway. However, the compromise is not that big. It's less than I thought it would be. You can see like the army-like construction. You can see the visible bolts and everything. In the back, this Jeep is very practical. It has a huge flat floor. They have the subwoofer integrated in the floor of the trunk, which I thought is kind of cool. There you can see right there on the bottom. Oh, and please don't ask if there's a spare tire under the floor of the trunk because it's stuck to the rear door. Speaking of rear doors, not the rear door, they look very basic. You even have a little glossy black there. It's fine. I think that's what to expect with this vehicle like this. It even has map pockets in the back of the seats. The seats are comfortable. They seat 4, 5 in a pinch for people under 6 feet. The room is reasonable here. Look at how that seat folds forward. I thought that was a very clever design. It's very easy. One step just goes back and the headrest folds back, so you get a lot of room in here. Surprisingly a lot of room. You even get 2 cup holders here for the rear passengers, which I thought was cute. Once again, you can see how flat that floor is. The front door again looks basic with that basket in the bottom right hand corner to carry your stuff. There are 2 cup holders in the middle, so don't worry about it, except there's no cubby spaces on the door. The inside is pretty basic. You can see the cell phone there. That's in one of the cup holders. It's very basic. It's very functional. The windshield really is almost at a 90-degree angle. And the steering wheel tilts but doesn't telescope. I thought the control weights were kind of smooth and very easy to use every day. The control weights meaning steering, brake pedal, gas pedal. And it is, the pricing, at least in the mid-range models, is pretty competitive. All in all, I thought it was a predictable but nice experience driving this vehicle. And here are my thoughts on the road. So this is the review of the 2015 Jeep Wrangler. This is the unlimited version. So what to say about this car, or this truck, or this Jeep? Well, I drove a Jeep about 25 years ago. And of all the vehicles I've driven, this one feels the most like the one I drove so long ago. In fact, from the outside, it doesn't look that different. This particular example comes in yellow, and I find it looks really good. Now, the range of this truck, or Jeep I should rather say, starts at $21,000, but you can go up to $40,000 in Canadian dollars. And they all have the same engine. They're all 4x4. You're only going to get options and heavy-duty ruggedness. Those are going to be the only differences you're going to get, and also the infotainment system. But you can get this base vehicle for $21,000 plus shipping and taxes, and you get the V6 and the 4x4, which is a pretty freaking good value. Now, if you want to be more comfortable, you can get the same thing, except they call it a Renegade or a Cherokee. A Renegade being a bit cheaper. On the highway, this thing is very noisy, and this vehicle in general drinks a lot of fuel. 14 in the city, and I'm sure it must be more than that, and 11 on the highway, which sounds about right given that it's in the shape of a box. The engine, though, pulls enough. This I remember back in 25 years ago, the engine wasn't strong enough, it seemed to me. I remember driving. I can't remember which version I drove. This one feels strong enough. This V6 Pentastar, I believe, plenty strong. Jeep gives us a wonderful steering wheel. I think Dodge is really doing that now with almost all their products. Wonderful steering wheel. The turning radius is very large, but whatever. Hard in the parking spot. The ergonomics are okay-ish. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, it's a Jeep. I mean, it meets the minimum standard that I would expect from a vehicle of this class and this price. Of course, the real reason why you buy a Jeep Wrangler is because you are an unconditional Jeep fan. You know, it's sort of like the same way why you would buy a Mini or any other vehicle like that. It's a niche vehicle. And I'm not going to take the top off now because it's raining outside, but really the idea is to take off the top and drive around like semi-convertible. It's sort of like has a romantic image in a lot of people's minds. How's it like to live with every day? Well, it's good in the city because our roads are so short that you never slow down for any bumps or anything. You just plow right through that stuff, right? There was like a speed bump at Costco. I just plowed right through it. I didn't even stop. Or was it Costco? I think it was IGA. It was whatever. It was a speed bump and I just didn't feel it. On the highway though, I don't think you'd want to do more than an hour on the highway in this thing. It's not a cross-country vehicle. First of all, the seats are okay, but they're not that comfortable. And secondly, the wind noise is unbearable. And the suspension is a little bit floaty. I mean, you just can't do off-road suspension, highway suspension. You just can't do it. However, overall, I think Jeep enthusiasts will get what they're paying for, especially in the lower trim models, which seem to me to be a very good value. Also, I'm not sure about paying $40,000 for a vehicle like this. I'm not sure that that's what they should be charging for it. I know it's all optioned up, but like I feel $30,000 is the sweet spot for this vehicle. In back, there's enough place for regular adults. However, if you're over 6 feet, forget it. And there's a lot of room back there. You can store a lot of stuff. Like, they made it convenient too. The seats fold down really nice. The sound system plays reasonably well. This is the optional one, but it plays reasonably well. I think that's all you really need, especially with the top down. You need loud. And it does play loud. It's not audiophile, but it's loud. As you can see right now, I'm on the highway doing about, I don't know, 55 miles an hour or maybe 95 kilometers an hour, and it's very noisy. It's very noisy. The soft top really lets the sound in, and I'm pretty sure there's not that much insulation in the doors. So that is the review of the Jeep Wrangler.